What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up there?
My brother, I feel great, man. Rejuvenated, man. It was a happy new year. Happy new year to you.
Thanks,
happy
man.
new year to all the amazing listeners out there and the watchers out there, the people that watch us on YouTube or they tune into the podcast, however you want to do that. But happy new year to everybody, man. I feel good.
I do too.
Yeah, man.
20.
Voice sounds better. See, I told you, man. I got some sleep. I was able to rest. Drinking tea all day. I'm good, man. Fired up.
It does, yes. I don't know. I don't think mine sounds too much better.
But you look good, though.
I mean,
in a Deke sort of way.
all right, I'll take that.
Or another, if you're talking about the French version of Deke, which we know what that means. Shout out to my dog, Zach Banner. He let us know that.
I think he was just making that up.
No, that's French, bro. I believe him. Yeah, he wouldn't lie.
It could be, yeah.
It sounds better.
Yeah, definitely. Now, do you have any like New Year's pet peeves?
Oh, like New Year's resolutions? Or
Yeah,
what?
does that stuff bother you? People like posting like, oh, amazing 2019, all these friends, man.
New year, new me, baby.
Yeah,
This is my year.
I don't see you being like that.
Nah, not really, man. I look at it.
It's just
You're going to
another
get
day.
out of it what you put into it, man. I don't make it so big of a deal. Oh, this is 2020. This has to be my, like for me, every year is a great year, but I look at every day that I'm alive as a great day, and I'm going to try to maximize it to my fullest potential in all areas, not just in my profession, but in my marriage, and the way I'm a parent, and the way I coach my girls' team. Like everything, whatever I'm doing that day, I'm trying to make it the best.
Just another day, right?
Yeah, man. Another day to be better, baby. Another day to be great.
With that being said,
What's your New Year's resolution?
big 2020 coming.
What's your New Year's resolution?
I don't have one. I don't
You
do
don't have
those,
one?
man. Nah, come on. It's the same thing as what you're talking about.
But at
just
the same time,
just start the next day, or you know.
But I do hear that the reason why you have to set these things is kind of like setting goals. Like if you set a goal, you at least have your mind set on something that you're striving for.
Yeah.
But I do think it got watered down with like our culture in terms of how we made it where every year is, oh, I'm going to go on a diet or I'm going to quit smoking. Or it became like very oversaturated in terms of these New Year's resolutions.
Dude, I read your book.
Shout out to Deke, man. You read the book, The Moats Theory of Life, available at moatstheory.com. You did that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
You a real one, baby.
It was incredible. Really
You like
good.
it, bro?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
100%.
you're just saying it because we're on camera together.
No. Because I was going to touch on something that you brought up in the book with
go
the
ahead,
goals and the resolutions.
Yeah.
You said you got to have a why. So
Absolutely.
you could have all these goals if like your why, your deep down intrinsic.
What's the purpose of it? What's driving you?
Yeah, it's just not going to last. So
Very true.
There's that book that's out there by I don't even think I've ever read it, but the title I've always been attracted to. It's
Yeah.
just called Start With Why. It's by Simon Sinek. And literally you could just learn from that title. I don't even know if you have to read it. Start with why. What's your why?
It's important, man. That's something that, I mean, I talk about in my book, but it was something that one of my veteran players told me my rookie year. I'm talking, I might have been a week or 2 weeks on the team. He was like, yo, what's your why? And I'm like, what? I don't know. Money, fame. I don't know. Man, if you don't understand why you're doing this, if you don't understand why you want to be great, why you work out, why you're making the sacrifices, you're not going to last in this league. And from now, I was like, whoa, you're right. And then you started thinking like, well, what is my why? And it's no right or wrong answer to that. Because I realized like some people's why is the money. Some people's why is their family. Some people's why is it's a outside factor. But it's all about whatever it is for you that makes you want to do this every day, that makes you commit to it. Yeah. I was like, all right.
We're getting deep here, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Deke, man, bringing in that, man. The humble plug of the book. He read the book. Shout out, bro. I like it. You a real one, man. I appreciate you, baby.
No problem, dude.
I appreciate
I saw you on the news today. I was like, man, no, I was excited just because, like I said, I read it, and I didn't even have to read it.
Yeah.
But just knowing that the word's getting out there, I think it's something definitely a worthwhile read.
Appreciate it. It's gotten a ton of positive feedback, man. It's been doing really well in terms of sales and stuff like that. And a thing that I really didn't talk about a lot of, but I've mentioned every once in a while, is that a good portion of the proceeds will go to the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation, because I always thought it was important with my father being a Marine that you keep that tradition, that history alive, and you keep it relevant. So
That's awesome, dude.
I like it, man. But enough of this patting me on the back. Enough of this making me feel special. because this isn't a podcast about me.
No, come on.
This is a podcast about the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Okay.
sports world in general,
I thought you were gonna say me.
and Deke.
No,
we know
come
it's a podcast about Deke. All right, we know that, and Big Ben, because Ben and Deke are synonymous. So we know these things. So with that being the case, I thought it was only right that since the season is over officially, and we wrapped up last podcast by talking about the past, like that last game, right? I thought it was important that we look back on the season.
Yep.
And before we start diving into what we want to look ahead to, because that time will come in terms of free agency, combine, the draft, things like that. But I thought it was important that we touch on some of the things that we took from this season. So the way I was going to ask, man, what were your overall feelings on the season?
Well, I wrote it down in my notes because you know how we've done grades with the quarterbacks and stuff. I think I put B minus on the season.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago when we're 8-5, easily at A, completely overachieving.
Yeah.
But just how we finished, there's a bad taste left in my mouth. Even though you know we did have all those struggles, the injuries, the ups and downs, the craziness. There's something to, man, at least win one of those last three and have us in the hunt, and at least something could maybe happen when we get in the playoffs. But just to lose all three like that, it left
and to three trash teams the way you described them as well.
Well, wait.
two of those three you for certain have
I said the Ravens were good.
You said they'll be one and done?
I said stay humble, but I'm
you said they'll be one and done?
I'm leaning that way, and you know what? I'm going to go all in on that and say, cool. The Texans are going to take them out. But anyway.
And because the Texans, because you already said the Bills are one and done as well.
That's a lead pipe lock this week. I'm assuming we'll get to the playoffs at kind of the end of the podcast. I got some things to talk about for those.
All right.
But just a bad taste left in my mouth after those last three games. You definitely have to give some props for that crazy, what was it, 7 out of 8 games, whatever it was, that run that we went on, and just how the defense performed, and all those wins after start. What was it? 0-3, then 1-4
to 1-4.
Yeah. After starting like that, our franchise QB going down, making that trade for Minka. I mean, there were some good things. There was definitely some positives to take away, which is why I think a B. B minus. I think that's the perfect grade.
Is it a B or the B minus? Which one?
I don't know, because I put B initially, and then I would just thought of the last three games. I'm like, ooh,
okay,
oh, so B minus.
Which one is it?
It's a tough call.
Is it the B or is it the B minus?
Is there one in between that?
No, it's B minus, or C plus, C minus.
Oh, hold on. If we're putting, I'd say an 84. An 84.
We're not
if we're doing
asking numbers.
One out of 100.
Well, because it's the thing. Like where I'm from, an 84 was viewed as that would have been a C.
Really?
Yeah, 85 was a B.
Ooh, I think we did 80.
But up
82, 83 C minus.
So up here though, where like my kids go to school at, theirs is drastically different in terms of like, I think what is it at 82?
Yeah,
might still be up there. So it throws me off, man. Yeah,
that's all.
So that's what I'm just like. What is it? Is it an A? Is it a B?
84. So in my mind,
you saying B or B minus, man? It ain't. We don't need all that, man.
In my mind,
B or B minus.
From what I remember, this might have been my grade school grading system.
Is it a B? Or is it a B minus? Which one?
Oh,
come on, man.
B minus.
All right, B minus. Thank you. You about to go on a rant about your grade, man? It ain't that hard.
83 was B minus.
It's not that hard.
And
it's a B minus. You said a B minus.
85 was like the mid-tier B, so 84 would have been perfect.
So you said a B minus. Okay, cool. A B minus it is. All right.
Okay,
I can dig that.
So those were my initial thoughts. I'm sure we'll get into some more like ins and outs. But what were your initial?
Yeah, so mine, I said it was a B overall, man. I thought they did really well.
The bad guy.
Well, it's all good, man. I thought they did really well at Spans. I thought they did really poor at Spans. The ending was the most disappointing. To drop 3 of those games, I thought they would drop at least one, and that was the Bills game. But the other 2, I thought they were very favorable matchups for them versus the Jets. I think, regardless of the factors that played into why they lost, at the end of the day, they lost those games. And that's kind of how I view it. So overall, I thought they did good, though, in terms of handling the adversity they had to handle this year, starting in training camp with the passing of Coach Drake. Yeah. I mean, you think about that. Then from there, you lose your starting quarterback. Then you also lose your starting safety. Then you make different trades and different moves to get the talent in and have to overcome the quarterback situation while you have two young quarterbacks growing in front of our eyes during the season. You're still finding ways to win. Overall, man, I thought it was a great job in that sense. But the last 3 games, to be sitting at 8-5, the expectations for this team had changed. I told you that I viewed them as a playoff team from then on. So for them to drop those last 3 in a row, regardless of what we were thinking in terms of quarterback ability, in terms of when they got to play against better defenses and better competition, you still, if you're a good team, if you're a B+ or an A level team, you find ways to win 1 or 2 of those 3 games. And for them to not win any of them and to get absolutely destroyed in that last game versus a Ravens team that was not even at full strength, for me, that's my biggest issues. But it's also funny when you look at those 3 teams. 2 of those teams are playoff teams. One having the best record in the NFL. The other is the 5th seed in the AFC. And then how many wins did the Jets have this year?
They just won 7. I think they're 7-9.
So they're literally 1 game off of us. So for even when I'm thinking about it in that regard, it's not to just poo-poo the competition like some people on this podcast did do. But at the end of the day, I still believe if you're a good team, you find ways to win 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it was an up and down season for sure.
A lot of ebb and flows, man.
Now, so if we want to get into details here, do you want to go
positives and negatives?
Yeah. Do you want to go like offense, defense, like coaching, management?
We could do that.
In that order, positive, negative. Each way?
We could do that. I was going to say just overall positives, overall negatives. Okay. And I was going to hit all my positives like that and all my negatives like that.
Okay, let's do that then.
I just figure. I mean, whatever way it works for Deke, because this is Deke's podcast. I'm just here for the ride.
Nah, man.
So which way is more comfortable for you?
I like. You know what? I do kind of like the categories: offense.
Okay,
defense,
well let's do it. All right. You lead us. You lead us then. Let's go.
Okay, offense positives. 2 young receivers, Deontay and James Washington. Okay. Deontay ended up with, I think, 680 yards, 6 total touchdowns, one of them being a punt return, and then James Washington, 730 for the year. I know we talked about him reaching that 900 point. Mm-hmm. I mean, I talked about it last week with the Steelers going into the Ravens game, and there's human elements. So, I mean, I think there can be a little bit of an excuse of hitting that 730 versus the 900 of... Yeah. I think he had a really good year. We'll just say that.
Okay.
And so did Deontay Johnson. So I'm looking forward to what those guys are going to do in the years coming up for sure. And then that might be it on the offense, actually, for positives. And do you want to just go right into negatives too?
For the offense,
yeah, we might as well.
Because then it's going to be my go. And
And then the negatives, or we'll say disappointments.
Oh, a negative is different than a disappointment. We're going to get to the disappointments. We're talking just negatives right now.
See, I just wrote down players. So if we're going to stick with negatives, I could throw something else in there. Obviously, the turnovers kind of got ridiculous there. Pissed me off. Just wouldn't stop.
That's funny because you were singing a totally different tune.
What do you mean?
Oh, Duck, that was a pick or two. I ain't worried about it.
Nah, but it got old quick.
But that's what you said.
And honestly, the Duck stuff, it started getting sick. I mean, if you look back, I mean, him wearing a Duck shirt for the games and Mighty Ducks. Come on, give me a break.
You loved it early, though.
Give me a break.
You loved it early.
You know, I don't know. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, maybe we should stay humble, but we're winning. It's cool. Wow. Now it's...
See what happens when you're a prisoner of the moment.
Hindsight being 2020. Man, let's not do that. Let's just win the games and not talk. Let's not... If you're going to be on a scale of quarterbacks, let's lean on the side of not being Baker Mayfield and a little cocky, whatever.
Well, when you're living in a world where everybody wants to talk offense first, let's go positive negatives. Okay, I'll just start with offense. This is what you get. You know what I mean? You get quarterbacks that feel like that because everybody's always talking about how great they are.
All right, so that was another one. And then the two guys we thought were going to step up. Mm-hmm. Injuries played a factor, but Juju and James Conner, that was disappointing. I mean, I don't want to say negative because.
Well, I thought we were talking negatives. Now you're talking about disappointment. That's all you throwing me off here.
They're good guys. I mean, they were injured a little bit too.
There's a ton of good people that don't make it in the NFL.
Are we going to say they're negative though?
Well, when I was going to speak on my negatives, it was the totally different area where I was going. So
okay,
I was going to let you keep going since you was going positive, negatives, and disappointments. I was going positive, negatives here. We was going to get to that later.
Disappointments. Wait. Disappointments is a whole different.
That's a whole other category for me. But I understand you. Listen, this is your podcast, man. I'm just here for the ride.
Okay, so I think that covers it. Unless you bring up something that I forgot. I think those were the things I had for offense.
Right. I like it. All right, so for me, when we saw
Benny Snow, I'll throw him in there too.
Anyone else? Is there anyone else you would like to throw in there?
That's it.
You sure?
Benny Snow.
You sure? There's nobody else?
Not on the positive level of Deontay and James, but he just had a solid year considering the factors.
Is there anybody else? You sure?
That's it.
You sure?
That's it.
Jeez.
Well, let's see what you say. Maybe I'll piggyback off one of them.
Clearly. No, it's all good, man. For me, man, I thought the positives definitely were Deontay Johnson, James Washington. I thought more so Deontay than James Washington. I thought James definitely started to emerge as it got going.
But you heard me trying to make those excuses.
You were. I wanted to see him do it from the beginning. That was the expectation for him. So in that regard, was he above the line? Yes. But was he to the expectation that I have for him? No. Whereas Deontay, he definitely went above and beyond my expectations that I had for him. I thought that he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this good in terms of the impact that you saw from a receiver standpoint, led the team in receiving in terms of receptions, but then also the impact you saw on special teams, especially once he grew. That was my biggest thing. People talk about how, Ryan Switzer was back there early. It should have been Deontay. It should not have been Deontay because Deontay had ball security issues. He had issues catching the punts. And that's not what you put out there right away. But when he did get his opportunities and he learned from his mistakes from early in the season to see how he grew, that's a positive to me. Another big positive I think about is in terms of the offense, understanding how even though the quarterback situation was kind of inconsistent, right? They were still finding ways to keep themselves in games. Granted, they had those turnovers, right? But they still were finding ways to at least get that one touchdown a game because some teams didn't even get one touchdown a game. But they would consistently find a way to have one or two of those drives that we all talked about each week where you wanted to call it factor because, he had one drive. And I'm saying, well, hey, it's one drive, but what about the rest of the game? They did at least have one or two drives per game that you could consistently count on. So for me, I thought that was a positive. And then overall, man, Benny Snow, I thought he did good. For me, I say in terms of him, my expectations for him were a lot lower because of his preseason.
Yeah.
He played really bad in the preseason. He looked slow in the preseason. Then he comes in, has the one nice run, plays well versus the Chargers, and then gets hurt. So for me, it was kind of I don't really know what I'm getting out of him. But as he came back and got back up to speed, to see him finish the way he did, for me, I thought that was very promising. So that was a positive as well.
Yep.
The negatives, as I spoke on numerous times this season, were the turnovers. I didn't care who was at quarterback. I didn't care what gimmick you wanted to throw out there. Turnovers are turnovers, regardless if it's Ben out there giving them up, regardless if it's Juju, if it's James Conner, if it's Mason Rudolph, if it's Duck Hodges. Turnovers are unacceptable. And the fact that it's 23 straight games now, and like I said, when we did the math on that carries back over to last season. So regardless of who's out there, that many turnovers is unacceptable. And the amount of multi-turnover games was unacceptable. That was my biggest negative. And then my other negative would go to the coaching staff in terms of, I understand that these desperate times, right? In terms of personnel, you don't have the opportunities to do everything you want to do. You're kind of handcuffed in a sense. But I felt that some games they wouldn't commit to the running game like they should, regardless of how productive you thought a player could be. Sometimes just the volume of carries can help out. And I thought that it was times this year where they did not do that, regardless of what was going on from a scoring standpoint or from a turnover standpoint. They just wouldn't stick with it. So for me, those were my two biggest negatives. And I guess I do have another positive, man. It would have to be, I guess we'll get to that later because we're talking about just the offense right here. So that's it for the offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have one more positive on the offense.
I knew you had another one, man.
Yeah, but this was just one game, like almost a one-off type of thing. I just wanted to give a shout out because I think there can be some hope going forward with this guy, and it's Mason Rudolph's performance against the Jets, how he came in there. Like he really, I can't say it enough, he looked completely different. Like I was shocked.
Yeah, very true.
So I just want to say kudos to him considering all that's happened and a lot of the media attention saying like, oh, he doesn't have it, he's playing scared out there. And then, just the whole situation with him getting benched and then for him to come in like that and play with that house money we were talking about and show off some of the talent he has. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but hey, I just wanted to say kudos to him.
And we're going to see how much you kudos that too, because we're going to have that conversation a little later too.
What do you mean?
We'll get to it.
What?
We'll get to it. It's about Mason Rudolph.
Today?
Well, it might be today. It might be next week.
In terms of like quarterback situation?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're going to need to see, is that enough for you or not?
I don't know.
We're going to get, we'll get to that because you kudos and then patting on the back.
Trust me, I do have some stuff cooking.
Yeah, we're going to have that conversation, man. Believe that.
I do have some acquisitions.
Before you want to talk all this, I like to kudos Mason for coming in
this
and doing
season,
this. If that's the case, we might as well kudos Deion Kane and Kareth White as well.
Oh, I did have them written down.
Now it's or should we kudos Chooks Okafor for the one game that he got to start and how he performed in his start? We're going to keep going on these kudos.
I do.
We're kudos in one-offs now.
No, Deion Kane and Kareth White actually, yes, for that stretch of 3 or 4 games, they had some nice plays there coming in off the practice squad like that. It was big time.
Is there anybody else with a kudos?
That's it.
You sure?
That was it. And
are you sure?
Thank you for bringing that up.
Because we could just keep going on these kudos,
No, that was good.
You just help me understand. Should we kudos Jalen Samuels for the Wildcat game versus the Bengals and how that provided a spark for the offense? Do you want to kudos that as well? We can do that too. Just let me know. You're like that teacher. Hey, everybody gets a good grade, guys. Hey, everybody, I love you. I love you. Oh, and even you, little Susie in the back. Yes, you get a sticker as well.
So kudos should have been a different category.
Kudos sounds like participation trophies over here, man. So you just throwing them out now. He had 3 good series. You know what? Let me give you a kudos for that. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Considering the season as a whole and kind of the backstory to things.
Stop it. Stop it. All right, moving on to the defense, the most important side of the ball. Positives from that, man. For me, overall, I thought they had a phenomenal season. In particular, when you talk about a team that had in terms of turnovers last year, they were last in the league, or not last in the league, were one of the worst 2 to 3 teams in the league in terms of turnovers. The bounce back with 38 turnovers this season. Actually, in fact, they had 8 turnovers, I want to say, last year total. It was something like crazy.
I remember you bringing that up last podcast because I was doing research on the defense last year, and if you look at the yards or the point, it's one of the things. They actually weren't that bad, and I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, why do I felt the defense was so bad last year?
It was the turnovers.
We could never, exactly. We could never get a turnover. That's been the case the past 5 years.
Yeah, it was the turnovers. Like even
we got sacks too. We got mad sacks. We lead the league in sacks.
And we would struggle to get turnovers. That was the thing. But and I said 8 turnovers last year. I gotta check. I know it was single digits. It was pretty bad. It was either 8 or 7.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
That jump is nuts.
Well, yeah, because they went to 38, led the league in turnovers this year. In fact, when you talk about just players, Minka had 6 or 7, by himself. Joe Hayden, obviously 5 picks. He had the fumble with turnovers.
He snuck that one in at the end of the race.
They all count, baby. They all count.
I was just thinking about you.
They all count, baby.
And like the stat padding and stuff like that.
Hey, you get that pick, and you know what it says now? He was 2nd in the league in interceptions this year. Saw that matters.
Yep.
But yeah, I think about those guys in particular. Obviously, Bud Dupree, I thought he had a phenomenal season, man, especially a guy that had to bet on himself because the organization had the opportunity to extend him. They said, we'll just give you the 5th-year option. Go out there and do something. Bud says, okay. He goes and gets, 11 and a half sacks. So in that regard, I thought that was pretty impressive, really huge. And
you hit that one on the head.
I did.
Preseason, you had that one.
Well, I had 2 picks. I said Bills are going to be in the playoffs. They did. And then I said Bud Dupree, double-digit sacks.
Those are the ones you're feeling best about.
Those are the ones I was confident about. From watching them and studying both, it showed up on tape. Yeah, so that was why. And then obviously TJ Watt. Yeah, kudos to me. Yeah. Kudos to the microphone for allowing me to speak into the mic. Yeah, kudos to that. Yeah. But then also, I thought TJ Watt, man, balled out this year. It was obviously Defensive Player of the Year candidate, crazy season. And in all phases. And the thing that I loved about TJ was he stepped up big time this year. Last year, and prior to that, he would have games where he disappeared. He did not do that at all this season.
No, every game there was something.
Every game he was providing impact, whether it was a forced fumble, whether it was a sack, whether it was an interception. He provided some type of splash. Some type of splash. I thought that was huge. And then also Javon Hargrave. I mean, you look at these guys' numbers, man, as a defense. Their stats speak for themselves. Devin Bush, 109 tackles. Everybody poo-poos Terrell Edmonds. You know he had 105 tackles. It's a difference between being a sure tackling safety or not being one. We've seen in the past when you don't have that safety back to making those tackles, those 5 to 7 yard runs turn into 15 to 20 yard runs. Nobody likes to talk about that because it's not as glamorous as the interceptions. But overall, I look at those numbers like that's not a bad player. Bad players don't get 105 tackles in this league. I'm sorry to tell you that.
His second year too, still.
Yeah, absolutely. Then obviously Cam Hayward, a deep tackle, getting 83 tackles. It's unheard of. He's third leading tackle on the team, man. Like, you think about that, man. And the list goes on and on in terms of the players from a defensive style that I was just really impressed with that had really good seasons throughout the whole season, not just one game, not just a couple of plays here and there. These guys consistently balled out at an extremely high level. So for me, those are my biggest positives from the defensive side of the ball. Now, when we're talking negatives, I point to these last 3 games. You make the comments in terms of understanding you're an elite defense, understanding offensively you're not going to get much. You understood what was at stake. You knew the expectations, but yet you came out and in all 3 of those games.
You think the Bills game, though?
Yes, indeed. The Bills games, the Jets game. And this is why. How many possession downs did we see versus the Bills where you remember that Josh Allen guy that you said was a bum would find ways to extend the drive and get a first down versus elite defenses?
There is one play I'm thinking. It was like a 3rd and long where they were at like midfield. I do remember that. I think they scored a touchdown off that. I could be wrong.
And that's my issue. It's like in those 3 games, each one of those games, they had issues. Like I said, the Bills game, they couldn't get off the phone possession downs. They couldn't even create turnovers or take advantage of an offensive line that had allowed 39 sacks going into that game. Bud had a sack, TJ had a sack. But at any point while watching that game, did you feel that our D-line, our passers were taking over a hodgepodge offensive line group? No. Then we take it to the next week versus the Jets where they have all type of guys out there. The only guy starting on their offensive line from week 1 was Kelvin Beachum. And once again, they could not consistently get pressure. They could not rattle Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold didn't have a turnover. Sam Darnold didn't have a turnover as this defense. That was unacceptable. And then obviously you saw how they allowed over 130 yards to Gus Edwards on the ground versus the Ravens and had RG3 looking like it was rookie RG3 out there. So for me, those 3 games ultimately left a bad taste in my mouth, and those were the negatives in terms of this defense. And I didn't want to hear any excuse of them being tired or them being, the dam finally broke, because when you make the statement that you're an elite defense, when you have produced to that point and you know what's at stake, you find a way to get it done, and they did it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Well, I wanted to ask on the Sam Darnold. Am I off on this? Was that TJ, the sack, the strip and everything, was that on him?
What do you mean?
Getting that ball?
Right, that was TJ. Yeah.
That was You were talking about like picks though, right? With Sam Darnold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
got you.
Yeah, because like for me, I don't, unless it's the situation where we saw Duck drop back like super far and get strip sack, I don't count a strip sack as an issue with the quarterback because what they don't have any say so in that regard. If a pass rush is coming around there and stripping the sack, I don't care who it is, you're not stopping that from happening.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. When you're turning the ball over in terms of throwing an interception, which you should make Sam Darnold do, that's the issue because they did not have that.
Yeah, no, glad you clarified that. Mm-hmm. So for positives, I think you're right with everything you said, because whenever I was running down the list, I was just naming individual players the whole time.
I mean, you could literally name 15 of these dudes over here, man.
But I'll touch on the cornerbacks because Steven Nelson, Joe Hayden, Mike Houghton, those dudes were awesome. Like Steven Nelson is so underrated, dude. I think I saw some stat where he hasn't given up a touchdown this year at all.
Well, and the thing, no. John Brown, I think John Brown got him. Bills game, John Brown was getting after him.
Wait,
did he score?
I don't think he scored a touchdown.
Though,
I don't think he did.
I don't know.
That's what I mean. I saw something, and then I was trying to Google it.
Yeah,
because I saw it on Instagram, and I can't. Yeah. I'm trying to Google Steven Nelson let up a touchdown. I couldn't find anything to back it up. Yes, but someone just threw that out there on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know.
So whoever that was, I'm verifying you right here.
Brave boy, I don't play that game. Lord.
But yeah, then Joe Hayden obviously with the 5 picks. And then here's the thing with these cornerbacks, and I guess you can even throw Minkah Fitzpatrick and Edmonds in there, just the secondary in general. That's been one of our biggest weaknesses or things that fans
in recent history,
was complaining about. Dude, you could even go back to this might be like 10 years, like a 10-year problem for us. Like I want to say the past 5-6, but it's been a while. And to just have the night and day effect of the interceptions and just how we could go into every game and feel like, all right, they're not going to do too much on us in the passing game. That was a pleasant surprise to me.
Man.
And it's awesome to see.
Well, and even with even with Steven Nelson more so, because I think about when we signed him, the reports out of Kansas City, they're like, yo, we're glad y'all got him, laughing like y'all are crazy to give up that type of money for Steven Nelson. Then the reports come out, oh man, he was the most targeted DB in the league and all these things. But you see how he came in and produced in just a crazy way all season long, super consistent. And ultimately him and Joe Hayden played off of each other in terms of raising each other's level of play. So I thought that was huge, man. You're right.
And then you got Mike Hilton, the passes defense, and then him being able to put pressure on the quarterback, get sacks here and there. Like, I was really impressed with those guys. And then I think everyone knows you touched on it. I mean, everyone else on the defense, Bud, TJ, Cam, obviously.
Even Javon Hargrave.
Hargrave underrated.
Hargrave had more tackles than TJ this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we got a lot of talent on the defense, and I think a lot to look forward to. So that just the defense as a whole positive. But for me, I think there was something to seeing the cornerbacks and the secondary step up like that. It was awesome. Negatives, I think you saying the last 3 games, there was definitely a feeling of the splash plays, the impact. There was just something missing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's hard because it feels like we're nitpicking. They only let up, what was it for the Bills? 16 points.
16
but it was
the Bills,
Was it 16 on both games? 16 or 17, something like that.
What, 28 versus the Ravens?
But like those 2 games, Bills and Jets, like you did what you had to do to win. Like you performed, but you could see Le'Veon getting some yards, chunks of yards.
Well, for me in the Jets game, I think about the opening drive.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah, came out sluggish right there. But yeah, you could see there was just something missing there, and you touched on it. Me looking on TV, like I can't put my finger on it. It's just like what's off, but that's kind of it. I mean, as a whole, though, defense was pretty awesome.
What grade are you giving them?
The defense? Yeah, definitely an A.
Okay,
definitely an A.
I like it.
What about you?
A-.
A-. Your standards are higher.
It's my expectations for them. I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah, it's different. I tell you, it's different for me, man.
No, I know.
Like I expect certain things from certain people. We saw that to an extent, but like I said, those last 3 games, in particular that Ravens game, I think if the Ravens game was a 16-pointer, then yeah, we'll go A. But that 28 to RG3 rubbed me the wrong way, man. Seeing RG3 out there, that rubbed me the wrong way. Gus Edwards for 130. I'm looking like, man, y'all haven't given up 100 yard rushing at all. You shut down Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb had 30 carries for 80 yards. Like, yo, was balling. And you let Gus Edwards, not Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, 130 yards. Yeah, I'm sorry. And because I even threw out the Patriots game, the opener. Remember?
That one's blocked out of my mind.
Yeah, I threw that one. I said, I'm going to forget that one. And then I said, I'm not even gonna factor in Russell Wilson 3rd and 15. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Those were early times.
Okay, or San Fran. I'm not even gonna go there either. I wiped out those first 3 games. Yeah.
Wait, the defense was they did get chunks of yards.
Yes,
on us, man. Like 3 of those turnovers, they literally
flukes
gift wrapped.
Yes, I said I wiped out all 3 of those. I said I can't wipe out these last 3. I understand. They balled out. I understand they had the turnovers. It was splash. It was all the storylines. I got you. But those are 6 games that left bad taste in my mouth. I just can't get over.
Okay.
So that's why I say A-.
Hey, at least it's an A. I'm good with that.
It's all good, man. And all right, so special teams, because I know you want to quit on special teams.
That wasn't even a category in my mind,
bro. Like this is, like I said, man. I will not be a part of a podcast that does not prioritize all 3 phases, with a slight towards defense and special teams, then offense. So with that being the case, from a special team standpoint, positives, Chris Boswell, first off. I mean, he came back in a major way. The 2 misses that he had, he was 1 of 2 from 50 plus, and then he was, I think it was 8 of 9 or 7 of 8 from 40 to 49 plus. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, he came back in a major way.
Yeah, if Tucker didn't exist, I think it was definitely Pro Bowl for him.
Absolutely, but
Tucker's annoying though. I can't. I've had enough.
Don't hate on it, man. If Tucker was here, you would be loving it.
Dude, come on, that little dance he had. Come on, give me a break.
You didn't say any of that when Duck was doing this stuff. You loved it when our guys do something, you love it. When anybody else does it, you hate it.
He wasn't dancing
if our guys do it, you love it. If anyone else does it, you hate it. If Juju didn't play for us, you would hate everything Juju does in terms of his dancing, in terms of the social media. You would hate it, but because he plays for us, you love it. Just say it, bro. Stop it. All right.
I don't know, dude.
That's how you are.
But I like Odell. Like, what about that?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Not more than AB.
I mean,
exactly. Exactly. So anywho, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
We won't.
The way Boswell bought out though, the way he responded, especially after last year, man, I thought that was just beautiful. That was one of my major positives. I thought Deontay Johnson, when he finally grew into that return man role, I thought that was a major positive as well. I do think at times Jordan Berry was very positive. 74 punts. When we talk about, and just to break it down for the people that understand the statistics behind special teams, in particular punting, people, you can see the average and then you see your net. Average is just how far you're kicking it. So if you're blasting the ball 50, 60 yards, you'll have an average punt of 50 yards, right? And that's like, oh, that looks special. It's just where it lands.
Yeah.
But anybody in the football world will tell you net punting is the key stat. You want to be above 40 yards in net punting, because that lets you know that if you're kicking at 40 yards, if it's 40 net, that means that from where you kick the ball 40 yards is a field flipper every time on average. So going into it, if you have to account for that much space, that many plays from an offense standpoint, more than likely you're not going to score. So for teams, in the way net punt works is, if you kick it 60 yards, they return it 10 yards, it was a 50-yard net. So it factors in the return as well.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why it's more important, because it gauges as the whole unit. Okay?
Yeah.
So for Barry, we talked about how at times, right, he looked really good. Then if you ask people right now, hey, Jordan Berry, he sucks, cut him. 74 punts, right? 74 punts. He had a 40.9 net average. That's crazy. Anything over 40 is the elite, is the best of the best in the league. Anything over 40 net. So just to put that into your understanding, like, that's where he was. And I said out of 74 punts, let's see. We had the short punt versus Buffalo, right? That was trash. We had the fumble snap turned into a touchdown versus the Ravens. That was trash. We had the miscommunication versus Arizona. Was it supposed to be a fake off? That was trash. And then we could say another 5. We'll just throw in there 5 to 7 that were trash, right? Either way, if you're looking at 10, 74 plays minus 10
He had
plays.
a lot of punts.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. So we're sitting at 64 really good plays with a 40-plus net average. For me, that's a positive. That's how I look at it. But I always want to give context before I let you hop in there and start, just saving people.
Saving people?
Yeah, because I know people be ready to just, man, Jordan Berry's trash. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right, look at the numbers.
Wait, you think I'm going to rip on Barry?
No, I'm just saying just in general.
I don't really got a strong opinion either way.
Because you don't like special teams like that. You don't watch special teams. But for those that look at the low-hanging fruit and just say, well, Barry messed up on these particular plays, he's trash. I'm like, no, let's just put it in context real quick.
I do when it's really bad. Because I remember some of the punters we used to have for our Super Bowl runs, and they would put our defense in the worst spots. Yes. It would be crazy. I was so mad about that. But our punters as of late, Barry, I thought he had a solid year. Yeah. I mean, there was, like you said, there were some things that happened. But hey, you're gonna get that. Yeah. That happens. He had a lot.
When you're playing 74 times, man, it's not a good situation.
He had a lot of opportunities.
That's a nice way to put it. He did have a lot of opportunities, without a doubt, man.
But I'm definitely with you. I mean, Boswell, crazy good bounce back year. I mean, that shows crazy mental toughness on his part. Like,
I mean, the dude was receiving death threats last year. Just put that in perspective, man. Death threats.
No, that's crazy. I mean, the first kick of the year, or even those first few kicks, those first few weeks, like, those are big time.
Yeah.
Like, you miss one of those, that could get in your head bad.
Yes, man.
So I'm happy he found his groove again, because he's back to what he was whenever he was a Pro Bowler.
The Wizard of Boz.
So Boz, Deontay on the punt return, definitely a big shift in there from beginning of the year to, mid-season to the last quarter of the year with how we feel about our punt returns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we actually got a shot to get an extra 10 or 15 yards or potentially take it to the house. So that was big for him. I think special teams was solid. I don't have a complaint.
I guess like our negatives were when Ryan Spencer was having to return. Granted, he would catch and secure possession, but in terms of the run after, that would be a negative just because I think he averaged 3.9 a return, whereas Deontay ended up leading the league in return average at 12. I think it was at 12.4 or whatever, which was huge. And just the couple of mishaps that, like I said, that Barry had, those were the negatives in my mind.
I can't even think of kickoffs anymore because I think they're so rare.
Yeah.
They used to be
even though it was some kickoffs that we had and they ain't really go anywhere. Karrathwaite, he had the long one. Yeah. Other than that, it wasn't too promising.
It just ain't the same. It's long ways away from Devin Hester and Dante Hall days.
Well, because now, I mean, when you got guys trying to bring it out, the way the blocking is set up,
it's just more efficient too, just to take it at the 25 a lot of times, as opposed to
But that's why teams like Baltimore are special because they will put it at the 1 and make you have to bring it out.
I don't know if the Patriots still do this, but they definitely have done it in the past few years. Yeah. No, you're right. There is.
Because they have guys. I mean, Matthew Slater is a perennial all-pro special teams gunner that the Patriots have had for 10 plus years, and that's why you do it. You kick it up short because efficiency-wise, just take the touchback. But if you believe in your coverage unit, you put that ball at the 1 and make that team have to run it, and that's how you get them.
Yeah, and then get them down at the 10 or the 15.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, special teams covered?
Which are great.
Oh, great on special teams?
Wow, look at you trying to rush through special teams, man. Stop it. Cut it out.
I'll say A-. I mean,
holy cow! All right.
Boz balled out. I mean, I think Boz is like if you're doing like captains and tiers, like Boz is the captain of special teams. Like
what?
A lot of the special teams grades predicated on him.
Is the captain of special teams.
Yeah, and then Barry had a solid year, and then Deontay got us a punt return and started showing us some stuff.
Interesting. All right. Interesting.
What?
I was not interested, man.
I would say a special teams grade is predicated a lot on him. He has to do with 3 points.
Hey, whatever you say, bro. No. Whatever you say.
Wait, no, I'd like to hear rebut. Like, who would you consider like?
I think
like honestly, quarterback, offense, right? Like captain. Defense is a little tougher because
I think the reason why I don't put all that on a field goal kicker is because how often are we seeing a field goal kicker in the game?
Rarely.
Right. How often do you see it? But how often do you see the punter in the game? You see the punter way more than you see the kicker.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, a lot more.
That's a good point. But I guess you're not seeing the instant 3 points up there with the punter where the defense still kind of has to play and there could be different things.
I think that's how we view our kickers different. Yeah. You put a lot more stock in the kicker than I do, personally. But you put a lot more stock in quarterbacks.
In the special teams grade. But it's black and white though. If you miss or make.
Okay. So what if the holder messes up? Who's more important there?
The kicker could still make up for it.
You sure?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
A lot of times not, though.
I mean, I'm trying to think. The Vinatieri kick against us.
With the laces the wrong way, the ball tilted and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean.
It was a miss.
I know, but are you putting that solely on the holder?
I don't put it solely on the kicker either, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think.
But you put it solely on the kicker. It's all. I'm messing with you,
that's
man.
What I'm saying. The kicker's got that control where he can make up for the holder's mistake.
You give a lot of credit to kickers. I don't like kickers, so that's why I would never be like a kicker is important.
I don't blame you. We've. Never mind. I'm not going to get into this. I was going to say we've never.
I like Boz, but I don't like kickers. If that explains.
We've always had pretty good kickers.
And I like Swish, I guess. Yeah, but I don't really like kickers. Yeah. Not really my thing.
No, I feel you.
I give them a B though overall, man. I thought that they did some good things. I thought they had some really bad things that happened though. Anytime you're allowing points or directly resulted, or anytime the special teams unit is out there and they can account for points being scored on them, that's an issue for me. Anytime, any season, that's always going to drop you down a letter grade just because of how important it is. The statistics show anytime you have a turnover on special teams or you allow a touchdown on special teams, your chances of winning drastically decrease. And let's be real, they were directly related to two of those things off the top of my head. Baltimore, obviously, they allowed points. And then I know Deontay Johnson had fumbled a punt return. And I'm sure if I look back in there with some other turnovers and things like that. Also, the miscommunication on that 4th and 1, that fake punt, no fake punt versus the Cardinals. Can't have that happen. Or the fact that the day going, Baltimore Ravens were converting 4th and 1 fake punts on them. Like, no. Can't happen. So for me, I cannot give you an A if all these things transpire, because I'm a guy who had to play special teams in this league and I understand the intricacies of it. So I know that, hey, if I was a part of a unit that never would allow that.
I see where this is coming from.
And I would look at that as an A. I can't give you an A when you account for 1, 2, 3, 4 of those things. No, not happening.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Boss saved it for
you.
Yeah, for all those things you're talking about. Boss saved the grade.
Yeah. But then last year we could. No, I ain't even gonna go there. I ain't even going there. All right, cool. So thoughts on the coaching staff. We'll start at the top, man. Coach Tomlin. What are your thoughts on him?
Awesome. Great job. No complaints here.
Okay.
I thought he did a really good job.
So what's your grade though?
Oh, for him, A. What?
I'm seeing all these A's, man. We got a lot of A's.
Now,
right
I do have a question. Because
excuse me.
Because we talked about Tomlin with the 7 or 8 game run that we went on, and coach of the year, give Tomlin credit, this and that. So the question is, and there's a lot to what I'm going to bring up here.
All
there's
right,
ins and outs to it. So the 3-game losing streak here at the end. So where's the credit go there? Now, don't answer this.
Okay.
Now, I would say, if we're finding the scapegoat or someone to blame, I mean, the offense, the quarterback play, like, it goes back to, all right, what do you want Tomlin to do at that point?
Okay.
Really, like, we're pretty incompetent there.
Okay.
So, but does that not fall back on, I don't want to say Tomlin, you could just say management in general, going back to the beginning of the year, if hindsight's 2020, we obviously traded for Minka.
Okay.
Why couldn't we try to trade for, you can name a multitude of names.
Okay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, RG3, Tyrod Taylor, sign Kaepernick, anything like that. As at least maybe your third string, if you're gonna put Mason out there as your second quarterback and say, hey, let's see what he's got. We believe in him, and then everything that transpires.
Okay.
Then we got one of those guys to go to, as opposed to pulling in Duck and all that. So that's the thing. I don't wanna put anything really on him for those last 3 games like that, just because I think we were dealt a pretty shitty hand with all that. But is the shitty hand go back to things that we could have done at the beginning of the year?
I look at it this way.
Or is that too much?
Well, no. In reference to the quarterback situation, right? Bringing one of those guys in. First off, none of those teams are fitting to trade any of those guys away.
I did want to ask you, like, what is the value someone would have on that? What would we have to give up?
Yeah, you would have to give up something good, probably in the 2nd round range. I know you don't care about draft picks, but we're not going to get there right now. So that was the first thing. But also I'll say this, hindsight being 2020, regardless of all that, if you bring in one of those guys, you're not saying that you have confidence in Mason. Remember, this was going to be Mason's first start, his first time as the franchise quarterback, right? If you bring in one of those guys, you're right now sending him the message that, hey, we don't believe in you. We got an insurance policy right behind you. That's not how you go about doing it in this league in terms of having a guy get confidence.
I get you, but what if it's just a simple fact, like, hey, if you get hurt?
But this is the thing. If that was the case, you would have done it already. You wouldn't have waited till now I'm in the driver's seat. That's the difference. You didn't do it with Ben. If that was the case, you would have had one of those guys backing up Ben. Hey, Ben, if you get hurt, man, we got this guy right here for you. Don't worry about it. We got Mason as the 3rd guy. Cool.
Yeah, but though considering Ben gets hurt, you got to have a backup for Mason.
But you already had the guy for Mason. Your backup for Mason was Dobbs initially, and then it became Duck. So you already had that. So in theory, it's like if you bring one of those guys in, what's the message that you're sending?
It's definitely hindsight.
Yeah. Because it's easy to make that decision now. Oh, man, well, Doug played bad. No, he didn't. Remember, Doug, during that run, was doing what the team needed to do. Then when it got bad, now everybody's like, oh, you should have upgraded that position. But at the time, if you bring one of those guys in, Doug's familiarity with the scheme, Mason's familiarity with the scheme, that wasn't going to be the case with these new guys that you're talking about bringing in, who was going to have to learn it on the fly. It's a difference.
Yeah.
So that's why, for me, I'm like, yeah, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, we should have brought that guy, we should have done that. But if that's the case, then they probably don't make that Minka trade either.
No, true. I'm just trying to think of reasoning or what's going on there for the last 3 games, because I don't want to necessarily say, Tomlin's at fault there when the players.
I mean, but
play.
you put it on the quarterback. If the quarterback wins, you give it to the quarterback. Quarterback loses, you put it on the quarterback. So you might as well do the same with the coach. Come on, man.
No, I'm not doing that. I think Tomlin did a really good job this year.
You said he's an A too, right?
I said A. Yeah.
A for him. All right. Because I'm hearing a lot of A's on the 8 and 18 right now. That's all I'm hearing.
Did we grade the offense?
Yeah, you said B- for the offense. I thought, because that was the first one you went. Remember B minus.
No. That was the team. That was the season. I don't think we graded the offense.
Okay. So what was your team? What was your grade for the offense? Let's hear it.
Oh man, dude.
Go ahead, man. What you waiting on?
We got to be in the.
Come on, man. What you waiting on?
C minus probably.
Okay.
C minus, because if C's average, then C minus.
Okay.
What about you then?
D.
Okay.
Yeah, easily.
So this makes sense then. If we're looking at a report card, the A's, and then something goes in there.
But then again, you said A for special teams, A for Coach Tomlin, C minus for for the offense. All right.
A for the defense.
A for the defense. Yeah,
that equals 8 and 8. Yeah.
That does not equal 8 and 8, but that's honor roll.
What?
It's honor roll.
It's honor roll.
Think about that. That's 3 A's and a C for you. Yeah, that's
C minus though,
and
still
honor roll.
A minus on the special team.
Still honor roll. You didn't say A minus either. You said A.
Special team.
You said A.
I say A.
You said A.
No way, dude.
We'll find out. But come on, man.
What?
No. It's the honor roll. Let's hear. So Coach T gets an A.
Coach T. Right. Yeah. Okay. I thought he did a really good job, man. I mean, it was a tough hand, and then to get everyone rallied from the start, go on that stretch, and then I just think there's something to those last 3 games. Maybe the players ran out of steam. I don't know, because I don't know if I want to put that on Tomlin. I mean, the defense, he is like a defensive coach.
Yeah.
If you want to add things together, blah blah blah. I mean, we only let up 16, 17 points those last 2 games. Yeah. I know we talked about it with the defense of, hey, it wasn't completely there like it was, but we did enough to win, and the offense just just sucked, man. It's just how it was.
I like it. So for me, I gave Coach Tomlin a B+. I said, for me, you name all those things, and then you don't want to get into those last 3 games. If you're the leader, if you're the head of the ship, regardless of what the offense was doing, the defense looked flat in some of those games. The defense looked bad in that last game, in particular when they gave it the 28 points. It was times, granted now 7 of those points were from the special teams play. But overall, they just didn't look like they wanted to be out there. They looked like they couldn't stop the run. They looked like all these other issues. So for me, that falls on coaching, because you have to have those guys focused. You have to have those guys ready to go regardless of what's going on the other side of the ball. If the defense would have played lights out and only given up 16 and still was producing, cool. If the defense versus the Jets game doesn't have that opening 11-play drive from Sam Darnold, okay, cool. Are you getting off the field or you're minimizing Le'Veon Bell's impact? Okay, cool. If the defense isn't allowing Josh Allen to make timely 3rd down possessions and throws, okay, cool. But that's not what happened.
Yeah, I guess that's the question though. Then is how much of it
I'm telling you
on the players playing,
and I'm telling you from personal experience. If you don't have those guys locked in every time, if you don't have those guys ready to go, that falls on you. It would be different if it was, okay, this guy's we're going against DeAndre Hopkins, we didn't have nobody to stop him. That's different. That's personnel. Okay, you can't fix that. Does it, like when we talk about the quarterback play, right? I'm not going to put all that on Randy Fichtner, because I know what Duck and Mason, what they were at that time. But when you talk about a team looking flat, that falls on coaching. When you talk about a team that looked like they weren't enthused, or at times they were looking like, I just don't know if I'm really trying to go all the way like that. That is coaching. That's not on the players from my perspective.
So do you think that criticism with Tomlin has been fair over the years for...
In what regard?
Teams coming out flat against shittier opponents.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, it's on your coach to make sure that is conveyed, that you have to be ready to go, that you cannot just look like how we joked about how you look at a team and say the team's trash, and every time I talk about a team, I'm like, no, that team has weapons. They can do this, they can do that, they can do that. That's on a coach to make sure you have that mentality. If you're allowed,
maybe he's listening to the podcast
or listening to you.
That's what I mean. Yeah. He's saying, "Oh yeah, Deke's right, man. These teams are trash."
Yeah. Anytime they're saying Deke's right, man, Mike got to check it. But no, so like for me, that's how I look at it though. So that's why for me that does fall on him. When I look at the special teams communication issues, regardless of, I know Danny Smith is the coordinator of special teams, but still the boss man is the boss man. The boss man's job is to make sure that that is done the right way. So it's no different than if you're the CEO of Walmart. I don't care if this store manager over here is tripping. That still falls on the CEO because his job is to make sure the right people are in place and they're doing their job right. And that message gets relayed down and throughout the organization. So for me, that's why I put that on Coach T. So that's why I say B+.
Okay. That definitely makes sense then. I'm glad you brought all that stuff up. I'll keep my A though. I'll just keep it because I mean you bring up good points, and that's the part of my argument where I'm saying I don't know how much that really has to do with him. I think the offense just sucked. Yeah. But if you're saying all that, then that completely makes sense. So that might adjust my grading for future, but
not today, man. You got to keep it today, man. You're an honor roll guy, man.
I'm rolling with the A,
most
man.
honor roll 8-8 team I've ever seen in my life. I love it. I love it.
Is there anything else? Is it just Tomlin we're talking about for the management?
I thought that was the biggest one. Yeah.
I don't think
because I'm like you can kudos to Kevin Colbert for bringing in a Deion King, Devin Bush, a Steven Nelson, Mika Fitzpatrick.
There were some moves.
You can kudos that. So kudos to Kevin Colbert.
Kudos for that. I think there were some moves that could have been made too that I've posted out to IG.
Not a chance. If he would have done those, I'm giving him a flat out F- from my personal perspective. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Kudos for all that. I mean, the only glaring one is what I brought up before is potentially bringing in another quarterback.
No. And name some of the other guys you wanted him to bring in. Not just the quarterback. Who was some of the receivers? You said AJ Green. We should trade everybody for AJ Green.
He didn't play, man.
You should trade everybody. I know. You wanted to trade for him. Remember that. You said that.
He didn't play.
But you said that. You said I would trade away all our draft picks for AJ Green.
Do your due diligence.
That's what you said. And I told you. I said, it's no guarantee he's going to come back. You said, I'll trade him all the way for him. So that was one. You said OBJ, Terrell Pryor.
Well, OBJ's this offseason.
Okay. But Terrell Pryor was another one that you said. And we saw when Deion Kane came in how he produced.
Yeah. I think it was just Pryor and...
no, it was somebody else, too.
I mean, Dez was in the mix there. Martavis,
you wanted.
He's not reinstated
AB already.
yet.
You said trade away everybody for AB, too.
AB's free agent. We could just sign him.
Yeah. Okay. You said you just give him whatever, though, to get AB back. You did say that.
Give him. Let's go out to dinner. Let's hash out the differences.
You didn't say hash out. You said just give him whatever, bring AB back. All right, let me think. Who else? Was that it?
Okay, so
that might have been it.
AB. I never really said anything on Dez. I think it was
because you were so more Terrell Pryor.
You know what? I wanted to trade for Stephon Diggs too.
I don't remember that.
I did because I brought up 3 names. I think Stephon Diggs was one of them. Whenever he was, remember when Kirk Cousins had some of the crappy games and he was like complaining.
He made this quick little comment, and then after that he was like, "Yeah, I want to stay here."
Oh yeah, because I posted that roster of all right. What do you think of this offense?
And Juju.
Diggs, Juju, and James Washington.
So is there any other wacky names that you wanted him to trade for that he should have listened to and then got a flat out F-?
I don't know if those are wacky names. Those are some players right there.
AJ Green, woo, yeah, he lit it up this year. Des Bryant, oh yeah, Martavis killed it this year. You're right.
He's got to get reinstated.
Lit it up.
He might be someone to consider this offseason if he gets reinstated.
Whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say.
But yeah, I think kudos. But I guess those other moves could have been considered a little more. That's all.
All right.
No. Because here's the thing. And I'm starting to, I don't know if regret any of that. It's just, you know what you know at the time. And that's what I thought would have helped the team the best. But now that draft season's coming around.
And we're missing some of these draft picks already?
I want more picks, man.
Oh, wow. You are funny.
I want more assets.
You are funny. Now I want more picks. But 3 weeks ago, he was like, just trade all these picks away. We don't need these picks.
This is the first time my takes and stuff is being put on record. So I'm really starting to calculate a little bit more. I'm trying to at least.
Okay.
Or we don't have to. I could just keep on going around this line. But Moats theory, just, life principle. No, life principles, you should always be growing. So that's what I'm striving to do here.
All right. I can dig that, bro.
So maybe my 2020 season will be less about, who we should be trading for, blah, 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 this and that. So we'll see.
We'll see,
definitely. Yeah. Don't count on it.
All right, not a chance. Now, are we going to transition to some of these trash playoff teams that you want to talk about as well?
Yes, we're going on the Steelers season here.
I thought so, man.
Okay, I definitely. Yeah, because
Let's hear about these trash playoff teams.
What are
Every
we doing?
playoff team is trash, right?
Predicting the games here? Is that what we want to do?
Who's playing this week? What 4 games, right? You got Bills, Texans. You got Titans, Patriots.
Both the AFC games are on Saturday, so we'll know real quick.
Yeah. So all right, let's hear from the AFC standpoint. Who do you have?
So if you want to bet, I think the line was at 4.5. It might have moved to 5, as I recently saw it on Fox Sports. I don't know where you could go to for these different lines, but anyway, if you want to make some money this weekend, you go down to the casino, you log into your gambling app, whichever one you prefer, and you put in for the Patriots over the Titans.
Okay.
And if you want to do the spread, or you could just take the money line either way. Because
So
Patriots,
you got Patriots beating the Titans.
Patriots are going to win by double digits. You could lock that one in.
Okay.
Tannehill's not too hot against the Patriots.
Okay. Patriots double digits, according to Deke. All right.
And this is on the road. Now, I know with the Titans, they're hot right now. They got a pretty decent team.
They're hot right now. You say it like this is like a fluke. They're in the playoffs. Like, what do you mean? Oh, I guess they're hot right now. What?
And Mike Vrabel is a disciple of Bill Belichick.
All right.
So I know people want to talk about that. That's something to worry about. And the Titans took care of the Patriots last year pretty solidly. But that's regular season.
Okay.
That is regular season.
I like it.
And the Patriots had an actual worse record last year. I think they were 11-5.
Okay.
Lost to the Dolphins in a bad way, kind of just like they did this year. And it's the playoffs now. And there's something to going up to Foxborough.
Yeah.
Brady. I don't care. I don't care about any of that other stuff because if you look at actually, what am I trying to talk about? Am I trying to talk about? Am I trying to talk about Brady or the Patriots?
Because I'm trying to figure out when's the last time the Patriots had to play during a wild card weekend. Because that's the one thing you're leaving out that you just casually glaze over. Oh, some other Patriots playoffs, Brady in the playoffs. Yeah, we've never seen them in the wild card, and you know how that turns out. So continue.
Last time I played in the wild card?
Yeah, when was last time?
It was probably Ravens. The Ravens probably beat them.
When was that? When was that though?
If I can remember correctly.
When was that?
That was a while ago.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But here's what I'll say about...
What you gonna say?
I don't know if I want to talk more about the Patriots as a team or just get straight to Brady because
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, you let me know.
Patriots defense is nice.
Come
on, Tannehill. What playoff games he won? Give me a break. Going up to Foxborough.
Okay,
just give me a break on that. And then you have Tom Brady, and he's still in the league. He posted some on Twitter. I'm still here. He's just a different breed, man. Like,
what happened in that Dolphins game? I was just out of curiosity.
He's a different breed. He's just
what happened in that Dolphins game?
It was a rough game.
You know, it was like his first pick six in like 2 years too.
It was a rough game.
The game they had to win too, right, to get the bye.
Just don't.
So they were actually like trying.
Do not count him out.
Okay.
Just don't. I know people want to.
So are you Ben on the front and Brady on the back, or are you Ben on the back, Brady on the front? I'm just trying to figure it out.
I like Brady. I think he's a great quarterback.
Well, you said because he's your number 2 all-time quarterback, right?
Number 2, yes.
Behind Ben.
Behind Ben.
Okay, just make sure I was good. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
So he's up there. I'm a fan of Brady. He's dude. The consistency.
Keep going, bro. Just keep going. You good, man. The
consistency, the winning.
I'm with you, bro. You good. You don't have to sell it to me. I'm with you.
Yeah, because you know Brady, right?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm with you, bro.
Just don't count him out, dude. Just don't. People want to. There's probably more motivation for him and the Patriots now because people are posting. I saw some on Fox Sports. They got a countdown till the Patriots dynasty ends. People are making fun of them. Just don't do that. Okay. Just don't do that. You're awakening a bear. And even last year, like.
Okay.
Look at Brady's stats in the playoffs last year.
All right.
I know people want to say the Patriots is a team. They were down, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he lit up the Chargers. He lit up the Chiefs. I know the Super Bowl wasn't a good game, but I'm just saying, don't count him out. His season wasn't that terrible this year. 24 touchdowns, 8 picks, over 4,000 yards. He's done that before in his career.
Hey, listen, man, I ain't tripping, bro. I ain't tripping.
What?
I'm just waiting on you, man. You over here really trying to sell this thing, bro.
No.
You went on like a 10-minute rant just trying to sell us the Patriots and Brady.
More Brady.
I'm just telling y'all, man. It's more, start over with, man. I'm just telling y'all, man.
It's more Brady. I don't know.
Telling y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's playoff Brady, man. I'm just telling you, like, dude, you just told me, all right? I got it.
I think it's more Brady just because of that conversation we had a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I'm sticking to it. I'm not going off of it.
Cool.
So that's a lead pipe lock.
And that was the conversation of, would we rather have Russell Wilson this year or Brady this year as our quarterback? And you said Brady.
Well, Wilson's been tailing off a little bit.
No, he hasn't, but it's cool.
A little bit.
No, he hasn't, but it's cool. The only reason he went out the MVP race is because Lamar Jackson went crazy. He'll probably still finish number 2 in the vote.
He probably will.
Yeah, so that's not tailoring off, but it's cool. I understand your narrative, though. It fits what you were trying to put right there, but that's not true.
He has tailed off a tad.
Whatever you say, bro.
Lamar Jackson has played good. It's a combination of both.
Whatever you say.
But yeah, that's my pick right there. Who do you pick in that game?
All right, are you finished? You sure? I ain't even asked you about the Bills in Texas. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion. We won't even have to talk about that. You got Texas winning by 3 touchdowns, right?
Nah, just like
4
10,
touchdowns?
Just 10.
You sure? You said the Bills are trash.
Just 10.
You said they were trash.
Just 10.
A trash team will lose to the Texans by 10. You said trash.
Just 10. That's fine.
So a trash Bills team is going to only lose to the Texans by 10 points. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's going to be 10.
Wow.
It's going to be 10. You know,
your definition of trash might be different than mine, I guess. I don't know.
24. It's 24-14, 24-13, something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to be as long-winded as you. Mine's are pretty simple.
I got a chip on my shoulder about all that.
I see.
Because here's the thing: if it happens,
here you go. Go ahead.
If Brady plays well, I don't want to hear it. Like I tried warning you because just don't count him out. Don't count out Brady. He's more determined than ever.
You know what this reminds me of? Of when you were talking about how bad the Bills team were and how we were going to beat the Bills and it's not going to be close. We're going to win by 10. You gave me that same energy. I'm just telling you now. It's all right. Y'all just keep listening. You'll see. Just watch. You'll see. Watch when Sunday hits. You'll see. All right. Because I'm tired. Just all these Bills people, all this Josh Allen. You'll see. You'll see. And then the game happened and it was like, Deke, you good? Deke, you alive? So that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm getting those same vibes right now. And then you did it again versus the Jets. So, I'm just telling you. I ain't worried about it. I'm just telling you. So, I got you. All right. I feel you. I'm hoping this time around is better for you. All right. Because you were in a sick place last time, man. You came back like somebody kicked your dog, bro. I was like, dang, bro, you all right, Deke?
Nah, I don't. Man, I mean, if it happens with Brady, it's whatever. With Brady, I don't have
now
that.
It's whatever. But you just went on a 20-minute rant about, I'm just telling you. Don't count them out. All right. Listen.
The Steelers are the Steelers. Like, that's way more emotion and heart into that. Brady's Brady. I mean,
you just went on a 10-minute rant. That's not Brady. You weren't emotional about Brady right there?
Nah, not really. I mean, I don't want to see the Patriots win, really.
But you really went on that type of rant for Brady. If you're not emotional about Brady, why would you do that? You didn't do that about the Bills. You didn't do it about the Texans. You didn't do it about the Titans.
I just like Brady as a quarterback. I don't really like
you just said you don't care about them, though.
The Patriots, not. I mean,
who's the face of their franchise?
I'm just saying he's a good quarterback, man. He's one of the all-time greats.
Like I said, I'm not gonna be as long-winded, man. I got I got the Patriots winning. I got the Bills winning. I got the Patriots winning. I think it's gonna be a closer game than a lot of people think. I know you're on this whole Brady kick and all that stuff, but when I watch the tape of them, they have bad problems on offense in terms of moving the ball. They cannot run it. They struggle to pass the ball, even though Brady is still starting to decline in terms of his accuracy and arm strength and things like that. He also doesn't have the same type of weapons. Mohamed Sanu is their go-to right now. He hasn't lived up to it. N'Keal Harry, I think as they said, N'Keal Harry, the rookie out of Arizona State, he's still young. He's playing like a rookie. Some games he looks good. Some games he looks real bad. Julian Edelman, they're doubling him to make sure that somebody else has to step up. And there's no Gronk walking through that door. So those are the issues for them right now that I see. Defensively, they started extremely hot. I think some of that was due to the competition they were playing because now you've seen them versus better offenses. Devontae Parker,
he's good. Oh, that was another receiver.
Good. Devontae Parker, he murdered Stephon Gilmore. Murdered him. So, I know you got all these things you're saying. A.J. Brown is walking through that door. It's going to be very interesting. That's all I'm saying. Derrick Henry is walking through that door. I want to say the Titans will win, but I personally don't believe in the Titans like that just yet. They get through the Patriots, then it will change. But right now, this game is going to be a lot closer than you think. This game is going to be a lot tougher than you think. Now, for the Bills and Texans, I'm going Bills because that's my other team. I already told you. I'm always right. If it's Steelers and Bills, I'm going Steelers. But in any other game, I root for my teams. So with that being the case, I like this matchup versus them. I think DeAndre Hopkins is the Texans' best weapon, but when they matched up earlier, Tre'Davious White gave Mr. DeAndre Hopkins that work. And that's what you fail to realize. When I told you, remember when I told you about DeAndre? I told you about Tre'Davious White. I said, he's elite. He's a top-notch corner. And he was like, oh, man, worry about him. I said, okay, well, he shut down DeAndre Hopkins. He shut down this guy. He shut down that guy. There's another situation right here, okay? And you talk about a pass rush. These guys can get after the quarterback. That's all I'm saying, man. I know JJ Watt coming back, but coming back from a pec injury, me from personal experiences, I know that's not easy to do. And he's doing it in the same season that he tore it in. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but it's neither here nor there. I think the fact that Devin Singletary, the way he's been playing, I think that bodes well for them. I also think John Brown, he's a guy that can take the top off the defense. We saw him do that numerous times versus the corner that we were praising in Steven Nelson. So I like that matchup a lot. And then, like I said, with Josh Allen, man, he's the X factor. He hasn't been turning the ball over lately. He's been looking good. Think about that. Think about that Steelers game. He looked real good. It's been hot ever since. So it's crazy how that works. So with that being the case, I'm rolling with the Bills in that one.
Dude, you're smiling too much right now.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. So anywho, NFC. We go NFC.
Wait, I didn't give my Bills.
You said they're gonna lose by 30.
Yeah, no, I said 10. I said like 10.
Yeah, but you already said that's a trash team, so it shouldn't even matter, right? They're trash.
I just want to say Deshaun Watson's got that.
He got the it factor.
He's got the it factor.
Yeah, he got the it factor.
Deshaun Watson definitely does.
DeAndre Hopkins, the best receiver in the NFL, or second best, depending on Mike Thomas. I know you still say AB.
No.
How do you want to put it, bro?
We talked about that. You can't have AB in there right now.
All right, okay.
We gotta see what AB does. But
all right.
yeah, it's between Mike Thomas and Hopkins. It's got to be Thomas right now. His season's been absurd.
Okay.
But yeah, Hopkins is too.
Okay.
So Deshaun Watson, dude, come on, he's definitely got the it factor.
Okay.
Texans lines improved a little bit from last year.
Yeah, shout out to Laremy Tunsil. Okay.
Yeah, Texans are they're at home, and I don't want to do this, but I'm just, it's food for thought.
You said Bills are trash. Keep going.
No. Food for thought. Josh Allen, first playoff game. Let's see.
All right.
That's all. I know what I got in Deshaun Watson.
What do you have in Deshaun Watson in the playoffs?
I know he took down Alabama and Clemson.
I said in the playoffs, not college. I don't care about college. College?
His line was
college? You're talking college?
That's some pressure right there.
Johnny Manziel, then he was elite in college. What? We're talking college?
Not on that level, man.
What? Johnny Manziel won a Heisman Trophy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he put up stats, but in terms of like, man,
he dogged the Alabama team. Remember that?
He did, but in terms
so what are you saying then?
Dude, those teams went like 9-4 or something.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm just saying, I know what I got in Deshaun Watson.
You said playoffs. And I said, what game? And you said Clemson in Alabama.
His line sucked the last time they played. I think it was last year. So
you can't say, I know what I have in him in the playoffs when you don't.
And then the other years, he's been hurt. And they
So how are you going to say you know what you have in him in the playoffs then?
Oh, I know what I have in him in big moments. That's all I need.
So now it's big moments. You say you just switched that right there. First was I know what I have in him in the playoffs. Now I know I have him in big moments.
No, that's what I meant. I don't know.
You said playoffs.
We got to go back on the tapes.
You definitely said playoffs.
I'm not going to listen.
And then after saying playoffs, you proceeded to talk about college. But all right, that's cool, man. I ain't tripping. What we got? Because you already said the Bills are poo-poo. All right, I got you, man. Cool. No love for the Bills, no respect for the Bills. I got you. I'm with you. Let's do it.
Okay. You don't want me up on this mic just spewing garbage about the Bills anymore?
Not at all.
No,
we saw that turned out last time.
That's all I'm saying. Just let's see. Josh Allen.
That's your go-to. Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see. Deshaun Watson, it factor. I know that. I know that clutch.
Okay. All right, NFC, we got Minnesota Vikings versus the New Orleans Saints and the Seahawks versus the Eagles.
Saints blowing them out. It's not even.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
They're on a mission. They're pissed off about last year. They're pissed off about the Vikings catch. Now, because now people are bringing that up.
Okay.
That's just more fuel to the fire. Breeze is like Brady. I mean, it's same mentality where just don't poke the bear. Just don't do that stuff.
All right.
Like, these guys are going to be coming in motivated. It's at home. Kirk Cousins, just give me a break.
Okay.
That team that they actually had a good year on, that was Case Keenum. It wasn't Kirk Cousins. Fair enough. We've seen Kirk Cousins, what he's been doing in Monday Night Football, and how they've ended the season has been pretty crappy too.
This game isn't on Monday. It's on Sunday, though. He hasn't won on Monday night, but he wins a lot on Sundays. Just throwing it out there. But all right.
Not big moments, though.
All right.
So we're going to see, is Josh Allen more Kirk Cousins here, or is he...
How does that correlate? What
is he in the?
How do you correlate a guy in his second year in the league to it? What?
I'm just joking with you. I'm just joking with you there. I'm joking with you there. I wanted to see your reaction. I'm joking with you.
All right.
But anyway.
Jesus. And then Seahawks and Philly, who you have?
Oh, all right. That's gonna be a close game. That's gonna be a shootout. I'm looking forward to that game.
Okay.
Carson Wentz been playing hot. Wilson has, like I said, just tailed off a little bit, but he's still Russell Wilson. Seahawks defense is worse than the Eagles. We haven't seen Carson Wentz in the playoffs yet, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be at home with Philly. Oh, yeah. What's so funny, man?
Nothing, keep going, bro. Just keep going.
What's so funny, dude?
Bro, I love where you go, so just go, bro. Just do it. Do what you do, bro.
What's so funny,
Just
dude?
do what you do, bro. I'm with you.
It's going to be a battle. If I'm putting money on it, though, oh, man, dude, Carson Wentz been playing good. This is the toughest one. I got no stakes in either one. Just going to be a nice objective.
Okay.
Nice objective game to watch.
And watching.
I know. Man, if you're putting money, man. Actually, I'm going to say the Eagles. I'm going to say the Eagles upset the See, I don't know if it's an upset or not, but
okay.
I'll say the Eagles take care of them. They're on a run right now, and Carson Wentz has been playing hot. I don't know if Seahawks got enough firepower. They do have Russell Wilson, though, and you can't. He's like Brady. He's like Breeze. You don't count him out.
But you did just count on, but it's all good.
Who?
You did. You did, but it's all
I'm not going to be surprised. I'm gonna hedge this.
My question is this: you so you're not going to be surprised if the Seahawks lose, but you'll be surprised if the Patriots lose, correct?
Yes, I will be surprised.
All right, fair enough. Even though for me they're the exact same, psych mirror,
exact same situation.
Yeah.
I just want to hedge that though, saying if Seahawks win, I'm not going to be surprised.
Okay.
So don't come in ripping on me if the Eagles
say,
lose,
bro.
whatever.
Like I said, I'm chill, man. All right, I'm going New Orleans. I'm going Seahawks. I like the Vikings in it, but when it comes down to the quarterback play, I think Drew Brees is the far and away better quarterback. He's been more consistent. When we talked about the matchup with the Titans and the Patriots, the gap right now between Tannehill and how he's playing and how Brady's currently playing right now is not that far. But in this particular matchup with the Vikings and Saints, Drew Brees is playing at a crazy level. So with that being the case, I'm going with them, and Michael Thomas has been balling out. I mean, set the record. He's a beast. He's a beast, flat out. And then Alvin Kamara, they have a ton of X factors. The defense, I love what I see out of Cam Jordan. He's a guy that can get after the passer. I think in that regard, man, I got to roll with them. Then Seahawks and Patriots, I think it's going to be a good game. I definitely agree. But for me, the reason I lean with Seahawks is number one, Russell Wilson. Number two, shout out to my dog Beast Mode back in the building. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do like that a lot. And from a defensive standpoint, we talk about which defense is better. I think that Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright, along with some of the people that they have on their defense, are playing better than what Philly has. Their secondary in Philly has been a carousel of who knows who because guys have been dealing with injuries. In that case, I know Russell Wilson lights up secondaries. So for me, I think that bodes well for him. Whereas when I look at the Seahawks secondary, I think about young Griffin back there, and he's been playing extremely well. And I'm looking at the Eagles receivers saying, okay, well, who's going to scare me like that right now? And those are some of the things I see. So with that being the case, that's why I go Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm good with that. I'm not going to oppose you on that. I think that's a coin flip game. I think that's going to be a really fun game. Okay. That's going to be the most exciting one, I think, out of all of them.
Okay. I like it.
So I just swallowed my gum. Shit.
Oh, man.
I was laughing too hard.
So we got our playoff games knocked out. We did our reviews.
We do.
I think it was good.
Is that it? We're done? What time are we at? Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're good, bro.
Holy shit.
So, with that being the case, man, we always appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah, like I said, the podcast will continue to go on and on and on, baby. So, until next time.
Peace.